Hello, my name is Dr. David Palmater. I'm a practicing clinical psychologist and psychology professor. I've created this YouTube channel for couples and parents who wish to promote happiness, wellness, and resilience in their family lives. In this edition, I'd like to discuss some techniques for combating insomnia during COVID-19 and beyond. I'd like to review quickly the nature of the problem and then go through 15 different suggestions in order to try to be helpful. As you listen to these suggestions, please also remember that for most people, one or two will work at any given point in time, and the other ones don't seem so advisable. And then 6 months, a year later, a different 2 or 3 may work. So this is not meant to be a comprehensive list of things to do all at the same time, more just things to sample from, kind of like Forrest Gump's box of chocolates. So the problem is that our bodies want to sleep when we're experiencing insomnia, but either the situation around us or what's going on within our minds does not allow our body to sleep. So these tips are all designed to make changes in the context and internally in our minds that are more conducive to sleep. The first is to try to not have any stimulating activity for a good half hour before going to bed, so that I'm not revved up and racing and my head hitting the pillow. That's too much of a transition. Second, I'd suggest creating a gratitude journal. Have by your bedside a little journal that you write in each night what you're grateful for from that day. Not only does that get you thinking more about what you're grateful for during the day, that which we pay attention to expands more in our awareness, but it also puts your mind in a place more consistent with sleep. And over time, you can look back and remember all the bounty that's in your life. Third, I would avoid tossing and turning without being able to sleep for more than 20, 30 minutes at the most. We don't want to associate our beds with a torture chamber, and that's what will happen. We'll start to, outside of our awareness, we'll just start to associate our bed with an unpleasant place. So I want to get up and do one of the other strategies that I'm reviewing here. Fourth, you can try an audiobook of medium interest. If it's too interesting, it's going to keep you awake. If it's too boring, your mind will return to what's bothering you or what's keeping you awake. Something in between, maybe the plot of a movie that you've already seen, or a biography of a historical figure. You can close your eyes, put it on, and listen. And hopefully your body then will take over. You just want to make sure to set your device to turn off after a certain amount of time, because your brain will continue to process the sound and the sleep will not be as high of a quality. Next, relatedly, you can try playing recordings of soothing sounds, rainforests, birds chirping. Beach is one of my favorites. Again, you want to program it to turn off after a while. Next, some people experience a sedating effect from eating fruit or other healthy carbohydrates before bed. Seventh, you can try a warm shower or bath right before bed. The relaxing of the muscles can facilitate sleep better. Eighth, you want to make sure that your mattress is comfortable. When mattresses get more than 5 or 6 years old, sometimes they become the problem. We want to try to be sleeping in an environment that the temperature is conducive to sleep and not too many noises. I mean, I might have to stuff tissues in my ears to make that happen. Ninth, if I'm having a hard time falling asleep, try to imagine a relaxing and enjoyable repetitive activity. Like some of my clients imagine fishing, or knitting, or walking along the beach. And then try to engage all of your senses. So if you're walking along the beach, try to imagine what the sand feels like squishing up between your toes, what the wind feels like on your face, the sound of the seagulls, the smell of the salt water. Try to engage all of your senses and what you'll see as you walk along. And sometimes it doesn't take long until sleep just takes over. It's a more sophisticated version of counting sheep. Another one is to engage paradoxical imagery, and that is try to imagine you're in a situation where you must stay awake, but you so much want to sleep. If you're a student, imagine yourself in a class, listening to a boring teacher, So you imagine the smell of the chalk and the feel of the hard chair that you're sitting in and the sound of the teacher droning on. Or you might be in a business meeting the next day and you so much must stay awake, but you want to desperately go somewhere else and take a brief nap. And again, engage all of your senses. Many people experience a sedating effect through certain aromas, lavender and so forth, so you can get spray or a diffuser. And there are other aromas, sample them. We're all like snowflakes in some of these issues, but try to find a smell that maybe is calming for you. You can ask your physician about natural supplements that may be helpful. There are some natural supplements you can get that, at least in the short run, can facilitate overcoming insomnia. Weighted blankets. A lot of people report really enjoying weighted blankets. We're not quite sure how come people experience benefit from that. When you order one, just make sure too that it's tailored for your weight. ASMR videos that you can find here on YouTube can be very sedating. Currently, I use those to fall asleep at night. I'll put a couple of links up of two of my favorite ASMR authors. And finally, if these various things don't work, it'd be good to ask your physician about the value of a sleep study, because there may be some underlying physical problem that is at issue. Because sleep is one leg of the wellness tripod, the other two being nutrition and physical activity, I don't want to ignore this. I don't want to think I can cheat sleep and still function okay. There's plenty of science that indicates every vulnerability that we have, be it physical or psychological, is taxed and worsened when we're not getting sufficient sleep. You can also find many resources for sleep on the National Sleep Foundation's website, the link of which I'll also include. That's it for this edition. Please remember, we are made for love.